harmonizing right there, brothers and sisters.
Wow, I apologize. That's really annoying. It's kind of like warming up in the morning, right?
Me.
Somebody asked me, do you guys do vocal exercises before you start?
All the time, yes. We take this job very serious.
I'm late today. I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to do it.
This is serious work that we're doing here.
Jesus. You know what I've been doing?
I've got to do my vocal exercises. Hold on. Wait, I can't start yet.
I've been cleaning up cat piss out of my boat.
I was going to ask you, how's the world's most expensive litter box treating you this morning?
I don't know what the hell happened, why a cat chose my garage, and I haven't even seen the cat. It's like a ghost pooper.
Okay, so how does the cat get into your garage?
He must have got in one day when I left it open. Like, I don't normally leave the garage open unless I'm doing something in the yard or around the house, or if I have my smoker going and I'm smoking some meat, and then then I'll leave the garage open. But I mean, gosh,
you smoke your meat in the garage. You don't move.
No. The smoker's outside, but it's just right outside the garage. And yeah, I typically I'm in and out of my garage. And so
it's convenient when you have a garage to leave the garage door open, walk in and out.
Right,
that way.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like
I get what you're saying.
I got stuff I got access to in there, and I got music in there, and so, anyways, and you've been to my house. You know that I live behind another house down a long driveway, and then my garage is tucked around. But anyways, this cat must have got trapped.
Yeah, but you live in the land of animals that aren't cared for. 5 cities.
I'm starting. Yes, I believe that.
I mean, there's a lot of dogs running off leashes, cats just running around everywhere. When I lived there for the year and a half I lived there, I could not have. It was like it brought me back to my youth. Somehow, over time, it seems like. Remember when we were kids, dogs and cats would cats would always be doing that.
Well, I lived out in the country. My dog just never.
Dogs
lived outside.
Never were on leashes when we were kids, and then sometime over our growing up, the pet owners got responsible, and they decided, maybe we should keep better tabs on our animals, maybe with lawsuits or something along those lines. But now it seems like if your dog is not on a leash, you're the worst person in the world. So now when I see a dog off leash, it makes me stop and take notice. I'm like, whoa, what's going on with this dog?
Where's that jerk of a pet owner?
It's like you see a kid walking down the street by themselves. It's the same.
Might as well we
response.
watch it. Yeah, a toddler walk down the street on his hands and knees crawling. Like, what the hell? So if you have a cat in the 5 cities, you better lock it up because Jeremy's looking for it. Because this cat, I think what happened was when I was on vacation, he got in my garage somehow and he hid. And then I came back from vacation, he pooped and peed all over the inside of my boat.
You had a risky business cat.
And I didn't realize it for right away until my folks came and visited. And then, of course, they're bored all day waiting for me to get off work. And then I get home and, of course, they don't clean it up. They're like, hey, did you know the cat's been pooping in your boat? I'm like, oh, my God, did you clean it up? Like, no, just look at it. I'm like, oh, my God. So he's pooping in the seats, he's pooping on the floor, and I spent all day yesterday trying to get it up. I found this cocktail, actually my wife did on Pinterest, where you use vinegar and hydrogen peroxide, some dish soap, and baking powder. And anyway, so you pretty much take a bucket and you drown the boat or the carpet in peroxide and vinegar. This is like clear white vinegar, just white vinegar, and then you come back with I have a little vacuum
shop vac,
not a shop vac, but a carpet cleaner.
Oh, okay.
Suck up all the water, and it just stinks of vinegar and urine, which is just a wonderful smell. Mm-hmm. And you do that a few times, and then you come back with some baking powder. And I put, the big boxes, they look like they're cereal boxes. I put 2 of those inside the boat so far, and I still have to go get more because it's still pulling yellow urine out of the carpet.
Yeah, we had this discussion actually on Friday when you were gone because this cat that came in from the Woods Humane Society, he did business in, it was actually a really smart cat. So in the stuff that you throw away, the
garbage,
the garbage. He did number 2, and in the recycling, he did number 1. But then my lunchbox was over by the garbage can too, and he was sitting on top of my lunchbox. And after realizing what he had did in the garbage cans, and knowing that he was also sitting on the lunchbox, I looked out at the lunchbox, and it did business on my lunchbox, and it was one of those, like those nylon lunchboxes.
What kind of jackass cat is this? Comes in here and pisses and craps everywhere.
Well, you know how Steve is. Steve will come in here and
he's just like, whatever.
He'll hang out for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, he just lets the animals run loose.
Yeah.
They're running around the hallways.
So, which is fine because they were good cats, and it doesn't really bother me. I spent $5 on the lunchbox, and
he crapped and peed in the studio and on your lunchbox. You still a good cat?
Yes, he is a good cat.
At least he didn't go on the floor.
Because Steve was very responsible. When I got home that afternoon, there was a Woods Humane Society lunchbox sitting on my doorstep. I was like, oh, okay, that was nice. I wasn't even going to make an issue of it. But cat, yeah. He said, well, you could just wash that out. I said, dude, you work with these animals all the time. You know when a cat pees on something, it is impossible to get it out.
I'm convinced I'm going to have to pull the carpet out, pull the floorboards up of the boat. I'm going to have to take it to an upholstery shop, have the seats redone. I mean, it's just going to be a nightmare. This is going to cost me like a couple of $grand.
Or you could simply go to town with some Febreze and try to sell that boat.
What am I going to go fishing in? I mean, I guess I could get another boat.
Get another boat.
I got a really good deal on this boat. I don't know. So,
well, just pass that deal on to somebody else.
That's what my wife said. She's looking at it last night. She goes, well, we could sell this thing. I go, well, I'm not selling this thing until I find another boat. So I'm not going to be a boatless SOB. I go, this is like your massages that you get every other week? Yeah, she goes, that's relaxation. I go, yeah, that's what this is. This is relaxation when there's not cat piss all over it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's quite a process.
That first time you go out fishing, I want to know how that goes because that is going to drive you insane. That is the worst smell in the world. And I don't know, what kind of oils there are in it. It just never goes away.
Yeah, I know.
It's so annoying.
I don't know if this is the remedy to removing cat pee. According to Pinterest and Google, it was. And so
you know how I am with trusting the internet lately.
We'll just have to see how it goes.
After trying to make pizza bombs.
But I mean, I sat there. I emptied an entire box all over the carpet last night, and it's still pulling moisture out to this. So I don't know how many days it takes to pull all the moisture out, but I'm gonna have to scrape this up, vacuum it, and do it again.
If it does pull all the moisture out, what if it doesn't get it all? What if there's just stuff in there?
Oh well, I don't know. Then I'm gonna have to figure that out. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. You have just a nightmare of a task on your hands. And I just don't understand. So anyways, I thought I got the cat out of there and I thought it was good. And then I shut the door and then I came back after the fair and same thing all over again. So yesterday I took everything out of my garage and I was ready to choke it. I was ready to choke the cat. I was like, you son of a bitch, you better not be in here. I couldn't find him, so
it's not his fault that you don't seal up your garage.
While I was on vacation, somebody dropped off a flyer on our front door that was missing a gray cat, and there's gray hair all over my boat. So, and my wife threw the flyer away because I was like, you know what? Did you keep that flyer? Because I'd like to call that person and get them down here because they owe me for a new carpet. How does that work?
How does that work? If a cat breaks into your garage, okay, and ruins and damages your property. Okay, maybe this is a question for Jeff Stolberg later on this week. But
I got to think the pet owner is responsible. It's their pet.
When that dog went rogue and killed that guy down in Grover Beach,
right? The police officer's dog, right?
Yeah. The ex-police officer, he is now on the hook for the damages,
right? And plus,
what took place.
I believe he was arrested.
Yeah. So
did you say I believe he was arrested? I believe he was arrested.
So would the same go for if you are a registered owner of a kitty cat and that kitty cat decides to use your neighbor's boat as a litter box? Is the kitty cat's owner on the hook for the damages?
I would think so.
I don't know. I mean,
then it's my cat. How do you like that?
To do what you wish with?
That's right. It's not going to be pretty. 38 special, we'll get to dumbass of the day.
I take it you're not a cat person.
No, I was never like a super cat person. Now when I see a cat, I just this redness comes over me.
How pathetic can some people be?
People say figure skating is the gayest sport, but I think it's football. Think about it. You have these muscular men in tights trying to get on top of one dude and this other group that's like, no, stop, he's ours. You do something wrong, a man trots out and throws out a colored flag, blows a whistle. Holding. That's the gayest penalty. No, Tom, you can't hold on to him. You gotta let him go. He's chasing after another man. He's going for the sack.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
When you almost won your fantasy football championship when you were the runner-up, who did you ride the shoulders of?
Oh.
Who was on your team?
Well, Carson Palmer had a great year that year.
Okay.
And I think, gosh, it's so long ago. I mean, it was...
What, 4 or 5 years ago?
2005?
No.
Oh, no. I had Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, you did?
And I also had David Johnson.
Not in the same year.
Or these different years? See, they're all blending together. Okay. I don't take it as serious as you do. I know you could probably remember every roster you had.
I know my champion.
But I know I had Marshawn Lynch that year. My
two championships were one. My MVPs of my championship seasons were Sean Alexander, because they would give him the ball on the one, the Seahawks would. Remember there was that one time when Sean Alexander, they got the ball down to the one and he just put himself into the game, and Mike Holmgren was like, wait, what? I didn't tell you to go in the game. He's like, no, coach, this is my job. I take it in from the one. This is how I get my bonus. He's like, all right, go ahead.
I had Drew Brees that year. I thought you were asking the
gunslinger.
The first year I played.
Drew Brees. His replacement in San Diego, or should I say L.A., is drawing some heat from his new boss. Him and Antonio Gates both are drawing for some heat from their new boss. Anthony Lynn is the new head coach down in, God, this is so weird for me to say it, Los Angeles, as the Chargers get ready to embark on their inaugural season in the Southland.
Where are they going to be playing?
StubHub Center, StubHub Arena. It's where the Galaxy play.
Okay,
30,000 people can fit in there. So, training camp session takes place this upcoming weekend. But weirdly enough, this upcoming weekend is also Hall of Fame ceremonies in Canton. And their boy, who I argue is the greatest fantasy football player of all time, especially if you're in a PPR, and that is LaDainian Tomlinson. If anybody had LaDainian Tomlinson 2006 to 2009 on their fantasy football rosters, they were cashing checks. They were just getting all kinds of money. He is going into the Hall of Fame. LaDainian LT is. And because Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates played with LT when he was on the Chargers, they're like, hey, coach, we're going to go to LT's induction into the Hall of Fame, because probably both of them will also be inducted into the Hall of Fame at one point later on in their lives. Their new coach says, nope, that's the first day of training camp. Sorry, can't go. You're talking about practice. Practice? You're talking about practice.
The first day of training camp?
Yeah, first day of training camp.
Who cares?
You can't go. You can't go. That's what Anthony Lynn is saying. We need you here.
No, you're a grown man. You do what you want.
Exactly. Now, if they go, they face fines and they draw ire from their new boss, the head coach, Anthony Lynn. Now, Phillip Rivers is pretty safe because his replacements at QB are not that good. Antonio Gates, who's that kid? They had a kid last year come in as a tight end.
He's getting up there.
He did pretty well.
And he gets hurt a lot.
Yes, he does get hurt a lot. Which would be a good argument for him to say, hey, coach, come on, man, I get hurt a lot. Just let me go to this. You don't want me to go out there and get hurt on the first day of practice,
No,
do you?
this guy's kind of an ass. I mean, this is your former teammate, one of your friends, and who used to be a part of the organization and did really well for the organization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to let these
Charger.
two guys go?
Mr. Charger. He's going in as a Charger, so you're representing the organization if you go.
What's the fine? Does it say?
It doesn't say what the fine is.
I'm sure it's something they can both afford.
And yeah, exactly. Phillip Rivers, but it's not the fine so much.
What if you call in sick? Not feeling good.
I hung up here in northeastern Ohio.
Can't fine you for being sick, can they?
Now, the Arizona Cardinals are also inducting somebody into the Hall of Fame this weekend. That is Kurt Warner. Okay. Larry Fitzgerald played with Kurt Warner on the Cardinals team. And the brass in Phoenix are saying, hey, Larry, go to Canton this weekend. Have a good time.
Right.
Go see Kurt, get inducted into the Hall of Fame, wear that ugly mustard-colored blazer, get up there, do a speech, maybe acknowledge you during the speech. But the no-fun Chargers, no way. They're not allowed to go. God, that's a bad face for the organization, isn't it?
It's just a bad foot to get off to with a brand new head coach.
In a brand new city.
With 2 starters.
That is not really all that welcoming of you, and you just the lease ran out yesterday on Qualcomm Stadium, which if you read about that, that's a sad story on its own. There's like a sun-stained bolt on the parking lot. That's like the only remnant of the Chargers' time in San Diego. Just a sad story. And then you're going to have this take place this weekend. Best thing you could do is let Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates.
I just got to think as a coach, you're a manager, right? And you got to think, well, what's going to have long-term effects here? Me being a hard ass on this, or me letting them go and they miss one day of training camp, they come back and they appreciate it, and maybe they even step it up a little bit.
2 of my most talented veteran leadership players on the team. Do I really want to piss them off first day on the job? Do I really want to do that? Probably not. You don't want to go down
What kind
that
of
road.
example does it set for the new guys that are coming on the field? Like, oh my God, this is Phillip Rivers, and this guy's not going to let, that's.
Do I want to be here?
Not a good way to start.
I'm playing
the
in a
season.
stadium that only holds 30,000 people. We're the second fiddle to the Rams.
If you're
Rams.
If you're
We're
the
second
general
fiddle to the
manager,
Rams.
if you're the general manager or the owner, can't you step in and say, dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Let these guys go.
Yeah, Dean Spanos needs to do something about that. Congratulations, Anthony Lynn. Maybe,
Who is Anthony Lynn, by the way? Where's he from?
He came over from Buffalo.
What was he, like the defensive line coach or something?
I believe that's exactly what it was. I think
I
that's
was just trying to think of the most ridiculous coach.
I think that's what he was.
The defensive line coach.
I'm pretty sure he was something like that.
Yeah, you're a tough guy. All right.
If you've ever asked for a personal day and then your work said no, and how did you handle it?
I always think every year when I'm going to plan a vacation outside of my fishing trip, because that's been, it's like an annual thing at the same time of year.
They're going to say no.
They're going to say no, and then I'm like, well, how am I going to handle this?
But
Do I just quit?
That's different. You take like 2.5 weeks to go on this trip, usually. I mean, but
I'm not talking about that trip.
But you've earned.
Yeah, we get 3.5 weeks a year is about what we get for vacation.
The vacation time.
So, and I don't take any holiday stuff. So I like to take one, and then right around the holidays, like November, October, November, I usually like to take a week and go somewhere. And I'm always like, well, what if they're going to have a problem with this? What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
But you earn the time, But they do have a problem with it.
Who does?
Well, like middle management, because they're the ones that have to pick up the slack. Like corporate, they don't care because you earn the time, and they don't.
Well, nobody from corporate I've even see here.
Right.
But I know our general manager doesn't have a problem with it.
No, but middle management.
But middleman, I would still like to know. Well, okay, yeah, I do some other things outside of this show. I mean, for the most part, when I'm gone, you're here, or we put together old tapes of shows. And I apologize. Last time we were supposed to have old tapes, and apparently the same 13 segments played all week.
That's fine.
But
you got to really get to know those.
Where was middle management on that one, cleaning up my mess, huh? Where were they? Oh, we're so put out when you leave. Yeah, where were you on that one? Anyways, so
well, we kind of dropped the ball
I think well, yeah, totally. Bad communication. But I always think about that. It's like, well, what are the options? Like, I already bought the airplane tickets. I already got the reservation.
I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes you've already made the plans, and there are certain days that they don't want us to take off. Like any time during the fair, they don't want us to take off.
Yeah.
Because we are pretty busy when it comes to fair time. I mean, there's a lot going on with all the radio stations. up at the California Mid-State Fair. So none of us are allowed to take time off during the fair. That's usually why we spend it all right before the fair.
Right before. I'm trying to think I should do it after the fair.
Well, that's what Seth does.
Yeah. Well, Seth
does it right after the fair.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And Seth doesn't have to go do anything with the fair, but he has to stay here and pick up the slack for everyone else.
Belinda writes in, she said, when I worked at a big-time coffee place, I don't want to disparage anybody here, I had a fever over 101, and I was told I had to come in, and I was not able to leave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this reminds me of...
they really drive you that hard at the big-time coffee place,
This really reminds me of the time I worked at the sports bar, and Fat Jason, remember Fat Jason that fired me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I called him one day, and I was hungover. And I told him I was sick, and he's like, yeah, whatever, get your butt in here. And so I'm like, I'm telling you, I've been throwing up all morning. And as soon as I walked in that restaurant, I ran into the bathroom and threw up as soon as I smelled the food. It was not good. But how does he know if it was from alcohol or I just had a touch of the flu? Anyways, I come out of the bathroom after washing myself up, and he's just standing there in the doorway. And he's like, go home. I'm like, I'm the one that should be pissed off.
Right,
You made me
you
get
had
out
to
of
come
bed
in,
and come all the way in here to throw up for you to tell me to go home.
Because you had to come in. It's
Fat Jason.
here I am sick, and I have to get ready to come into work, throw up, come out, feel like crap, and then I have to go home and get comfortable again.
Yant says he'd quit. Says I probably would just quit. Says it's never happened. He says I've needed days off, and they've always been cool about it. But you know, I think that runs through everybody's mind when maybe you get ahead of yourself a little bit, and you're like, man, what if they say no? Like, what am I going to do? Do I pick my vacation or this 3 or 4 days away over my job? Like, I don't think most people would end up doing that, but Jens says he would probably quit. We're asking you what you would do. 543-3693, excuse me. And then this is all stems from what's happening down with the San Diego Chargers.
Nope.
Los Angeles Chargers. Oh, that's going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
That's going to happen
Antonio
a lot.
Gates and Phillip Rivers were told that they can't go to LaDainian Tomlinson's Hall of Fame ceremony because it's the first day of training camp.
Hi, go ahead.
Hey, what's happening? I'm just wondering what kind of a-holes they work for not to let them go to a friend's huge event like that.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying it's training camp, and it's a big deal. And
Come on, that's a big deal, and these guys won't let them go?
Yeah, and this is training camp too, and it's not like these guys don't know the protocol of if they were rookies, I could kind of maybe understand Anthony Lynn's rationale behind this one, but Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates know what the first day of training camp is all about.
Yeah, they've only done it over a decade. They've been to training camps.
You know how I am. Okay, I don't wish injury on anyone until week 1 of the National Football League season, and that's my opponents and their players on their rosters when it comes to fantasy football. Then I do wish injury on them. That's the bad thing about fantasy football, but I'm not going to deny it because a lot of people deny it. They're like, well, you don't want to wish injury on it. No, you do. Wholeheartedly. If you want to win in fantasy football, you wish injury on people that aren't on your roster. But in this instance, I kind of wish injury on Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates on day 1.
Just to prove a point that they should have been able to go?
And I bet you anything in the backs of their minds, buried way deep in the back of their mind, okay? They are also saying, well, what happens if I go out there and I get hurt on day 1 of training camp? Should have been in Canton.
JJ's been holding on. What's the story with your boss?
Well, I work for this company, and if you called in sick, the boss would show up to the house.
No.
Oh, we did that to, did we do that to Jeff Good? Or he was just late.
We did it to Lindsay.
Yeah, we used to have a girl that worked here. She was just out of Cal Poly. And, you know, she partied a lot. We'd get up early for work. And so when she didn't show up, we would send one of the other guys over there with an air horn. Mm-hmm. You know, like the kind they blow at a basketball game.
But we weren't bosses. We were just dickhead coworkers.
Yeah, we were just, dickhead coworkers.
Well, our boss would always do it like he would, at the end of the day, you know, we'd all go to the bar, and if you called in sick the next day, he would show up to your house and come and get you.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice. So he would escort, he would chauffeur you in.
So he was Uber before it was cool, huh?
Yeah, it was
And
he
it was
got
free,
the tabs
too.
for us, and then like all the guys, we'd spend like half the money and then take the rest of the money, and then there was for sure thing somebody would always call in, and the next thing you know, he's knocking on your door telling you to get your butt out of bed and go back to work.
Like, okay, I understand. What kind of job was it?
It was retail.
Retail?
Yeah, it was like industrial retail.
Middle managers in these types of jobs.
Wait, what is industrial retail? Like Lowe's?
Like a little more like Tractor Supply.
Oh, okay.
medical.
So, did you appreciate the fact that he would come get you?
No, it was horrible because sometimes you were just so hungover.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But you got a responsibility to be to work, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have to give it to the guy who was the greatest guy in the world. Because when I got cancer, he showed up to my door every 2 weeks with a check, and I, never really worked that time. I was off for 3 months, and
Oh, wow.
he still
Oh,
paid me.
God, yeah,
Okay.
don't leave that
Okay,
out. I mean,
then
for
he's-
God's sakes, the
he's
guy
a-
sounds like a great guy.
He's got a good
No,
heart.
he was
then.
a great guy, but that was the one thing he just wouldn't tolerate was if you called in sick because you were hungover.
Wow.
He
All
was
right.
showing up to your house to get you.
Well, you're cancer-free now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Well, that's awesome. Good story, too. So thank you for the call. Yeah, so some bosses, could be total dicks about it, and this guy actually sounded like he had a good heart. So.
It's funny. It wasn't a boss. I would always call in sick on Sundays because there would never be bosses there. There would just be coworkers there. And one of my coworkers offered to come get me once because I said my car broke down. He's like, well, where you at? I'll come get you. I said, he goes, we're really
Are
busy.
you talking about me? Because when your
We're really
clutch
busy.
went out on the freaking
No, I'm not talking about
405 or the whatever it was, I came and got you. Or I offered.
Yeah.
You're like, don't worry about it. I'm like, oh, that means he's drunk.
I don't care. No, I didn't want to work because I had to deal with a hydraulic clutch on a 1984 BMW. It was not a good day. I had to try to price that kind of stuff out before the internet was prevalent. It was hard.
It's 7 o'clock, KZOZ, San Luis Obispo. Brian's on the line. Go ahead, man.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Usually what I do is I just write a note saying, I will not be there. We have request forms, like, you can ask permission and be denied, and I don't even bother with that. I just say, hey, this week I will not be here.
This week I just will not be there.
So the request form, it gets bypassed by you, is what you're saying. You just write your
Yeah,
own.
well, if there's a dispute later, they can go back and look at the permission slip and say, oh, no, we denied it. If there's just a note saying, I won't be here, what are they going to do?
Yeah. That's one way around the system. I like it, Brian. Thanks a lot for the call.
No problem.
So I guess it's that old saying of ask for forgiveness later. What is it?
Yeah. You're like, he never fills out any permission slips. Yeah, but he does.
Don't ask permission.
He does fill out
beg for
demand
forgiveness.
slips. Demand slips are much more powerful than permission slips.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
California Fresh Markets in San Luis Obispo in the Foothill Plaza. Also 5 Cities Drive in Pismo Beach. We were asking you if you would let your son play football after this new news that came out. There was a study done last week that 110 past football players, they were NFL players, 110 were surveyed, and 109 of them had suffered some sort of brain trauma while playing in the NFL. And so we were asking you if your kid wanted to go out to play, would you allow him to do it? Would you not allow him to do it? Would you try to encourage him to do something else?
I'm kind of surprised that only 7% of people said that they would not allow it because of the statistics being too alarming. But 46% said that they would allow him to because he's got to learn to make his own decisions.
Well, what age did kids start playing football, tackle football? Like I think I was 12 or 13. That might be a little young to start making my own decisions.
Well, I believe in the area where we grew up, there wasn't many options as far as like Pop Warner and stuff. I believe here on the Central Coast, you can start playing tackle football, earlier on. Like you're talking about like 9, 10 years of age. 46% also said that they would encourage an alternate, but allow him to do it if he's dead set on it. So you're saying, 92% of people are okay with their kids playing football, even after 109 of 110 NFL football players tested positive for some kind of brain trauma in a recent survey. This is interesting because yesterday, Jamal Adams, he is the rookie safety for the New York Jets. He was at a fan forum, and Roger Goodell happened to be sitting right next to him when he was asked about CTE, and his response was that.
I have his response right here.
Okay, this is very interesting.
We live and breathe, and this is what we're so passionate about. Literally, if I had a perfect place to die, I would die on the field. I would be at peace. Literally, I would be at peace, and that's not a lie. Like.
That was Roger Goodell clapping, by the way.
No.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
Well, he was sitting right next to him.
I know. That's why I said that. Nobody could see. Roger Goodell just looked straight down, like, awkwardly. Those were some fans, obviously, that were clapping. They were like, yeah, we want this boy playing for the Jets. Yeah, New York, baby.
That's passion.
Yeah.
He's willing to die.
The team and just connecting as one and winning ball games is nothing like playing the game of football.
So he's, very passionate young man. He's a rookie. He's coming out. He wants to tell these guys he's going to lay it all out on the field, which is what you're taught from, early on as you grow up, that you got to leave it all out on the field. You got to give it 110%. And so, that doesn't surprise me to hear that from him. It's kind of scary, because Martellus Bennett then tweeted later, and he's like, hey, boy, you need to find something else besides football in your life. He goes, I love this game. I mean, I love this game, but we're dying for it.
Yeah, it's funny.
And that was
on the flip side of the coin. Maybe as you grow older in this sport, you become more aware. Like, he's a rookie, okay? And I don't know, when you were 21, you didn't think you were going to die, right?
Hell no.
You were untouchable, and that's maybe why you
do a lot of stupid stuff when you're 20.
I mean, that's probably why Jamal Adams is like, I'd die for this job. But then on the flip side of it, yesterday, Brendan Albert, who is an offensive tackle, who was set to make some serious cash from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He signed with them in the offseason from Miami. Okay, he's really, really good offensive tackle. He was set to make $8 million this season, $9 million next season, over $9 million next season. And he decided to retire. He left $17 million on the table, and he decided to retire at the age of 32. He's played a full 16 games each season since his career started in 2011. And he is saying, 6 years in the league, that's cool. I'm good with it.
Well, it's probably enough. I mean, and if you think about it, what you and I did in high school, and then, what some of my friends went on to do in college is a whole nother level, compared to what happens in the NFL. And even college, for that fact. I mean, play and kids get hurt all the time, as we know here. We know, what happened in Templeton. I mean, we know kids, there's always a risk. And a lot of parents are writing in saying, you know what, you can't live your life in a bubble. They want their kids to get out there.
Which is evident in the response in the poll. I mean, is 92% of people said, yeah, I'm fine with my kid playing football.
I'm not a parent, so I don't know how to answer this question, but I think if I was a parent, I think I would honestly try to encourage them to look at some other things than just what their friends are doing. Because I remember the reason I wrestled was because my friends were wrestling. The reason I played football, the reason I played basketball, the reason I played baseball, because my friends were doing it. And you just wanted to do what your friends were doing because you wanted to hang out with them.
My son is getting big, and he eats a lot. He out-eats my 4-year-old, okay? He's got a stomach the size of my thumb. I don't know where he puts it all. He craps a lot.
He could
I'm going to go put him in your boat. That's how much he's crapping.
He could be a big boy. My parents, 5'1" and 5'2". I turned out to be 5'8".
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, you're 6 foot. Yeah. He could be 6'3".
No, and every indication is that he's going to be a big boy. I mean, he's almost at 9 months. He's almost grown out of the car seat that my daughter was in until she was 19 months. Right. Okay, so I don't know how to approach this if the day and age comes. My hope is, as a parent who loves his children, my hope is that football falls out of favor. And I'm a fan of the sport. I love to watch the sport. I'm really conflicted on this because I love to watch the sport, but I don't want anybody that is in my family to be a part of the sport.
Put a golf club in his hand as soon as you can.
The good news is when he eats a lot, he eats with his left hand. So,
well, then maybe you shouldn't be a golfer.
My dreams of him becoming a Major League Baseball pitcher look to be on track.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KCOZ rocks.
How do you properly meet? According to Jeff Bezos, he has a 2-pizza rule. The 2-pizza rule states that he won't hold or attend a meeting at which 2 pizzas cannot feed the entire group, meaning he wants to keep the
group small.
Attendance size of the meeting down, okay?
Now, does everybody get a slice or 2 slices?
Well,
is this a snack or lunch?
He only meets with investors once a year for 6 hours. That's what he's told Business Insider. So investors that want to have a part in Amazon, he has an investor meeting. He'll meet with them once a year.
For 6 hours, all you get is a slice of pizza?
For 6 hours.
Oh, my God.
No, that doesn't.
Practically torture.
That's the one meeting that he has that the pizza rule does not apply to.
Oh, okay,
But
good.
if he has to attend a meeting, he doesn't like meetings. If he has to attend a meeting at work with other people, what he does is he makes sure he sticks to this 2-pizza rule, which states that, that's got to feed the entire group. So I'm guessing 2 slices. So if there's 8, so I'm trying to figure out the math here on how many people would attend a meeting.
So we're talking large pizza. And
Pizza.
How many slices are on a large
8,
pizza?
I'm just going to say as a rule of thumb, generally 8. But are we going to go large on this one? Yeah, we got to go large.
I think you're large, yeah.
So 12 maybe?
Okay,
Is it 12?
Yeah, I was going to say 8 sounds like big slices, but yeah, 12.
12. Okay, 12 slices per. If everybody's given 2 slices, that means 12 people could attend the meeting. That seems like a big meeting to me. Last meeting I was in was a 3-person meeting. Crazily productive. I mean, like, mind-blowingly productive. It was an hour long, and we were all under a time crunch, and we needed to get something done immediately. And we did. We got it done because we had something like a deadline to meet.
What was the topic of the meeting?
The topic of the meeting was podcasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were just in there talking about podcasting.
Yes, and
for an hour?
Yeah, for an hour.
God, I think you could talk about that in 5 minutes, couldn't you?
Well, you could, but are you going to be productive in talking about it for 5 minutes?
I see. So, that's pretty good.
It was developing a strategy for podcasting, and it was immensely productive. And I was thinking, after I left the meeting, I walked out. I was like, "That's how meetings should be. There should be 3 people. That's it. That's all you need in a meeting is 3 people."
What happens if you add a 4th person?
Maybe even 2 people.
What
Like
happens
we
if you
have
add
a
a 4th
meeting
person?
every morning. We have a 4-hour meeting every morning. The 2 of us do, with the rest of the Central Coast.
Right.
With the Bryans and the Craigs and the James of the world. We sit in here, and when we get a lot of people call in,
why don't we have pizza? That's my question. That's what we need is a pizza for our meeting.
I got it. The key to a productive meeting.
Okay.
Get the 2 pizzas. Have the 2 pizzas rule. Say, "Oh, Jeff Bezos does this. Jeff Bezos does this all the time."
Yeah.
And then, but invite one fat guy to the meeting. So that guy is going to eat like 4 to 5 pieces of pizza, thus taking up, knocking 2 other people out of the equation. So instead of having to invite 12 people, you invite 9 or 8 people to the meeting.
That's very true.
Because most people have 2 pieces of pizza at the meeting. Some people, the dainty woman in accounting, she might have just 1 piece because
she'll pick at it for the whole time you're having the meeting.
She wants to remain dainty.
I love that. What people just
and
picking at their food.
If you're inviting her, you've got to invite the fattest guy in the office to the meeting. You're like, he's like, I have nothing to do with accounting. Well, that's fine. You're coming.
I'm going to be the guy that stands up and says, "Hey,
You're coming.
It's a 2-piece limit there, Chubbs. Hey, 2-piece limit.
No.
All right." And then he's just going to be sitting there just sweating, thinking how he wants more pizza.
You invite the guy that could put away some food, okay? And it isn't even look at Joey Chestnut with his taco damage that he did the other day. It doesn't even have to be a fat guy as long as they can put away food. You got to invite the guy to the pizza meeting that can put away food. Like me, I'm not skinny, but I'm not fat, and I can put away food pretty well.
Yeah, but you're not going to. You don't put it away at work.
Especially when it's free. I do.
We never have food in our meetings here. Have you noticed that? I was like, what's the deal with that? We have food other
Maybe
times.
that's why we have unproductive meetings.
We need food in there.
But just 2 pizzas, though. or maybe
2 slices.
limiting it to something else, like maybe tacos. Maybe, that taco box that you get at Taco Bell? That 10 taco box?
Our next meeting that we have to have, let's go get that.
Here we go.
We got one right over here.
Here you go. Here's the 10 tacos. When these are all done, this meeting is done.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Listen online at kzoz.com.
All right, how do you properly chill? Vince is on the line.
Just sit back and smoke a stogie at my local cigar shop.
Now, when you smoke a stogie at the local cigar shop, do you smoke it inside?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You got to
Smoking
smoke inside.
Can you have an 805 while smoking a cigar?
I believe, yeah.
At a cigar shop?
They offered me beer. They're like, hey, you want a beer, 805 or whatever? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Well,
just sit back and relax with the TV. Got a pool table.
See,
chill out and...
I didn't think this was something that took place in California, especially on the Central Coast. Now, I had a friend once who was big into cigars, and Jeremy happened to be along as well, so he's big into cigars. And they made me go to this cigar shop in Reno, Nevada, which I thought in Reno, okay, yeah, people probably smoking inside left and right.
Smoke everywhere.
And they took me to this thing inside of a strip mall, and I walk in, and I mean, Jesus, I was hotboxed with this, I didn't know what to. I had to step outside.
But you remember they were making cocktails for us?
Yes,
it was a party,
right.
though.
But that was Reno. That was Reno.
Yeah, I know. I
didn't know that they did that on, on the Central Coast, Paso Robles.
I go to Boss Cigars because it's in Arroyo Grande. It's not very far from my house, and it's it's not a huge shop, but she's got a nice big area with a bunch of couches. Everybody just sits around, and you kind of get to meet people, and and it's kind of a cool little social experiment.
Well,
but
it takes a long time to smoke a cigar, so
it takes an hour.
You got to have something to do.
David Letterman always said it's like an hour vacation.
So that's good to know that there are places where you can properly chill while smoking a cigar.
I like that a lot. Yeah,
maybe I should take up cigar smoking.
What kind of smoke did you have?
I have a bunch of them. The recent one I just bought is a Rocky Patel 15th anniversary.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's good.
Really good.
Yeah.
But I just actually bought a Cuban the other day, and I was from a cigar shop in Belgium, and I had it shipped in, and I was kind of nervous about it. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be real. I'm going to spend all kinds of money on it.
Right.
But the numbers checked out. You have to do your research. The numbers checked out, the Habano SA number. I got it in. It was perfect construction. Smoked it. It was perfect. It was the best cigar I've ever had. It was a Partagas Series D, number 4.
Wow.
Is that legal now?
We can
smoke Cuban cigars now?
lifted. Yeah, we can smoke Cubans.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's totally legit.
Well, your boy wants to reinstate that embargo, and we can't get Cuban cigars anymore.
Are you? Who's my boy now today?
The
Chris Christie,
the president.
Oh,
the president
I'm very. God, I hope that doesn't happen. He's not my boy anymore.
All right, man. Affect the online market. You just ship them in.
Right. Well, that sounds pretty nice. I didn't even know you could do that. All right, man. Well, hold on the line. We'll get you all set to go. We got some Firestone 805 stuff for you, and we're going to get you qualified for the drawing.
You can get all stanky next time you go.
Right.
I love that stanky smell. You also are qualified for the $200 gift card. And how about the VIP tour for 4? You still have another opportunity, a few more to do this, coming up this week at 8:05 every day. And we'll do the grand prize drawing coming up on Friday. Want to find out more about what's going on with Firestone 805? Log on to 805beer.com.
You seriously won't smoke a cigar if it's not properly constructed? What does that even mean?
Well, I mean, I will smoke it if it's a gift, but I'm not going to pay for a cigar that's got a loose wrapper, or it's maybe a little dried out, or it's too tight. Trying to get a good drag off a tight cigar, it's no good, bro.
That's what he said.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
When Starbucks came out, I was a huge fan. I still like their coffee. I know some people say it tastes burnt. I don't get that, but this is great. I love what they've just announced that they're going to start doing, and that is they're going to start serving beef jerky topped on one of their coffees now. I was lucky
Isn't that a little much?
Spent my my time at the fair to judge a cocktail competition, and the bar Fish Gaucho and restaurant up in Paso Robles made kind of like a bourbon drink, and they put like this candied smoked jerky on top of it, and it was like blew you away. It was so good.
The jerky was good?
And I'm telling you, the jerky, I mean,
or was the drink good?
The drink was good. It was like an old-fashioned. You've had an old-fashioned. You've tasted mine before. You're like, oh, it's really strong.
No.
But
if it's not Tampico, I don't.
If it's not what?
If it's not Tampico, it's
I don't even know what that is.
If it's not Tampico, it's not a mixer.
What is Tampico? What is that?
It's that really cheap punch that you buy in like
gross.
a big gallon jug.
Well, you wouldn't want to put whiskey in that. You'd probably put vodka in there or gin. In there, right?
You could put rum in it.
Or rum.
That's
Yeah.
rum and vodka.
Well, this was a whiskey drink, an old-fashioned.
But you drink down a little of the Tampico, and then you dump your spirit of choice in, and then you bottle it back up. You put the cap back on. You throw it in the cooler, and you got drinks all day at the beach.
But anyways,
that's how mixologists.
Wait
that's how
a
true,
second.
That's how true mixologists
is
do
this
it.
that crap we drank in Tahoe like 10 years ago that gave me the worst headache of my life? We drank it all day long at the beach.
Yeah, because
it looks like an orange juice container.
And you could take it to the beach. You're like, wow, man, you guys must really like cheap punch. Yes, I love cheap punch. Because they were searching your...
Oh, they love to look at the coolers.
At Zephyr Cove, they were searching your cooler.
Tampico.
And the only way you could get it in was to sneak the alcohol in was to take the vodka, dump it into the gallon jug of Tampico, and be on your way. Everybody's drinking Tampico, like it or not. Sorry.
So anyways, this cocktail had a piece of beef jerky on it. It was just awesome. I mean, the beef jerky was probably the best beef jerky I've ever had. But anyways... Starbucks is now doing this. I don't know. I'm sure they've been working on this for quite some time. They're rolling out the Pepper Nitro with a jerky twist. This will start in Seattle, and they'll go from there. Pepper Nitro with a jerky twist is freshly ground Congo coffee, slow steeped as cold brew, and then served on draft through a nitro tap. So it comes out like a beer does. Like it comes out of a keg tap.
This sounds just pretentious enough to... Have to stick a piece of beef jerky on the top of it.
Why does it sound pretentious? Because it's cold brew? That's like the new thing.
No, read that explanation again.
Well, they're trying to sound a little fancy here.
Read the explanation. Right. Yeah, and by trying to sound fancy, that is pretentious, okay? Just like sticking a piece of beef jerky on top of... explain the drink that you had with the beef jerky on top of it.
It was a old-fashioned with had like sarsaparilla in it.
Okay.
And then it had like this caramelized beef jerky on top of it. This is what Starbucks is doing.
You don't need that.
Pepper Nitro with a jerky twist.
So dumb.
Takes freshly ground Congo coffee, slow steeped as cold brew, and served on draft through a nitro tap, then and finished with an infused, sweet and savory, malted fennel black pepper syrup. The beverage is topped with a layer of honey, cold foam, and finished with a sprinkling of cracked pink peppercorn and bambooed with a skewer of natural beef jerky made with grass-fed beef.
I feel intimidated when I go into Starbucks. They increasingly raise the bar on the norm on what people are ordering.
I think that's what's made them successful. The people are a little bit intimidated. But they feel like
it's the hot girl?
It's just like, it's that experience. It's like it's just out of your reach, but you can obtain it, but it's just going to take a little bit of work.
I am a drip coffee guy.
And they're still going to serve drip coffee.
I know they serve drip coffee.
As a matter of fact, this is just a test run in Seattle now.
It's getting, but
they have a kind of a special thing in Seattle. Sounds good, though.
Yeah, a bunch of morons. That's what the special thing is
You had me
called.
at savory malted fennel black pepper syrup. For God's sakes. Topped with a layer of honey and cold foam, finished with a sprinkling of cracked pink peppercorn.
Listen, I play golf, okay? And I play golf at the local tracks, and I like to play, or I should say I played golf. I don't play much golf now that I have kids, but I like to play golf at the local tracks. I feel comfortable playing golf at the local tracks. If I go to Augusta National, I'm going to be very intimidated.
Sure.
Playing golf at the Masters. Nobody wants to play golf at the Masters if you're ill-prepared to play golf at the Masters. There is an intimidation factor there. With the upping of the game of the drinks where you're putting, what is the black pepper, what? Fennel infused, what?
It's infused with a sweet and savory malted fennel black pepper syrup, then topped with a layer of honey, cold foam, and finished with a sprinkling of cracked pink peppercorn, and then skewered with a bamboo skewer and grass-fed beef jerky.
You know when you go to the pro shop and you ask them for, I need to buy some balls. I don't got enough balls in my bag. Do you have any of those used balls? Any of those balls that were found out on the floor?
Yeah.
Would you go to Augusta National, go to the pro shop and ask them for those?
Yeah, no.
So now when I go to Starbucks and I ask them for a drip coffee, it like throws the baristas for a loop. They're like, what do you mean? Oh, that stuff that comes out of the machine in the back? I'm like, yeah, that. Oh yeah, sure. I could get you that drip coffee.
You were talking about the drip coffee.
Yeah. And so like they're upping their game so much to where their staff doesn't even know how to handle drip coffee.
Well,
this is getting to that point. Now they've got to worry about the fennel-encrusted beef jerky.
Hey, they're just
being
taking cold
placed
brew
on
to a
top
new level.
On top of the cold brew properly.
JW just walked in. What's up, brother?
Cold brew to a new level.
What is this you're talking about?
Have you tried the new cold brew coffees? These are coffees that you get that are cold. They brew them cold instead of hot.
Coffee's meant to be consumed hot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, but
I just
people like to drink it on
free coffee. What you have here?
Yeah, that's what I like too. The cheaper the coffee, the better.
No, I wouldn't say that.
It's
caffeine. I grew up in my house on Folgers, and listen, I still drink Folgers from time to time.
Yeah.
But it's if I had a choice of something else, maybe I might.
But
Go all out and get some Maxwell House.
Can we go within reason here?
I like the U band if I'm going to go cheap.
And if you embarrass me today, I'm going to tase you here on this show.
You don't even have a taser on you today.
I'll go get one.
Once you got peppercorn infused fennel syrup and cold brew.
Yeah, what is all this stuff?
This is a new drink at Starbucks
with a piece of beef
They're
jerky
cold
placed
brew.
on top of it. It's like okay.
It's supposed to be coffee to help you wake up.
It's from the Congo, man. All right.
Yeah.
Gorillas have probably ate these beans and pooped them out, and then they just washed them off.
I mean,
and
it
then
probably is very
It gives
good.
it extra flavor.
However,
a little banana peel.
Anybody that like you remember when you watch cartoons as a kid, and then some like one of the cartoon characters got duped on something, and then he would turn into a sucker.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that is drinking this drink at a Starbucks, I want to change them into the sucker. I want life to be a cartoon
This is
at that point.
handcrafted
I don't care.
coffee cocktails, pretty much. They're not a sucker. They're just they're living a little bit. They're opening their horizons.
Things in life.
Yeah, they're testing the limits of their palate.
Yeah, it's very cool.
All right, when we come back,
is?
we're going to give away some tickets to see Slayer. You know who Slayer is?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
They're coming to
Lamb of Gods and Behemoth. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we have a very important law question for you. Not that you deal in the law, you deal in law enforcement.
But yeah, no, this is something something happened to me, and I got to ask
to
you
call
about
Jeff, not
not me. Don't ever call me.
Lawyer friend Jeff.
I drink too cheap a coffee.
No, I'm going to ask Jeff about it. But I figured since you're here, I'd ask you about it. Because, I mean, you are an officer of
And
the
there's
law.
a way that it could tie into the laws of the road, too.
Let's do it.
Okay. If a dog causes an accident.
Yeah, but dogs are considered property. Cats aren't.
What?
Oh, okay, so you're already helping me.
Wait.
here.
Hold on a second. So what if a cat causes an accident?
Because
somebody
a dog.
owns that cat.
Well, yeah, but cats, they don't stay in a yard. I mean, they're allowed
free
to
to
run
roam.
free. I mean, even the animal control doesn't come take a cat if they're out running around, right? They'll come get a dog because they're considered property. They're supposed to be.
So if I find a
contained.
cat-
Well, that's pet profiling right there.
Well, you can take it up with the pet lawyers.
But that is.
Take it up with
That is to say that dogs are a bigger nuisance. You're saying a dog
No,
based
but-
on the fact they're a canine are a bigger nuisance than a feline.
Well, no, not a nuisance. They're just property.
I disagree.
So, like, if you
I disagree,
so
too.
let's say this.
Especially
let's say,
based on your
on his
situation.
problem. I'm sure there's other things but let's say this: if you hit a dog and you're driving, you're supposed to stop, try to figure out who owns it, contact somebody because that's somebody's property. If you hit a cat.
You just keep moving.
You just keep going.
What if a cat is destroying?
I'm just playing. But they're not property, so like a hit and run situation may not apply.
Okay, so you keep going.
I didn't mean to make y'all laugh.
No, I know you
I was
didn't.
being serious.
We're immature.
Yeah, very.
Well, I think it's very apropos actually because I'm not a cat person.
Okay, so let me get to my story then.
Yeah.
All right, I had a cat that broke in. He broke in my house.
He broke in.
He got in my garage.
Let's fingerprint the door jam.
Somehow he got in my garage and he hid. I had no idea it was in there. I think this happened last month when I was on vacation. We leave. We come back. There's crap and pee all over the inside of my boat. I use my boat as a litter box. And so I clean it all up and I look for the cat, can't find it. I work the fair. I'm staying in Paso Robles. I come back. It's happened again. I'm like, so yesterday I pull everything out of the garage. I pull my boat out. I mean, it's 6 hours, and I'm trying to get the pee out of my boat.
I know.
Now there's a flyer. There's a flyer that ends up on my doorstep while I'm gone, and I find it, and it's got this gray cat. There's gray cat hair all over. This person's missing their cat. They have a phone number on there. So I'm thinking, well, you know what? I'm going to call this person, see if they got their cat back. And if I find the cat, and are they responsible for the damage to what the cat did into my garage?
I would say no.
Okay.
Well,
What if it was a dog that broke in?
Different. Dogs they're supposed to be contained. That's why you license them through the county. That's why you have.
So people aren't responsible for their cats.
Well, they're not. They're not.
So cat owners are irresponsible, is what we can.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying cats. They don't stay in a yard. They're allowed to roam around. Right? I mean,
if a dog causes,
you don't put a cat on a leash.
I've seen a cat on a leash. Yeah,
but you see cats just cruising around town.
If a dog causes an accident on the roadways, on a highway, could the dog owners be responsible for damages incurred from the accident?
Possibly.
Really?
Well, like if cattle get out or a horse get out, I mean, they're supposed to be contained within the fence, right? And they can be found. I don't know about legally, but I'm probably civilly. Because if you're a dog owner, I have a dog. She's supposed to be contained within my property.
And my argument for Jeremy's case is that those people are supposed to make sure that their cat is hanging out in other people's garages. They're the ones
pooping in other people's yards in their boats.
The responsibility of the cat.
Yeah, but cats are allowed to cruise around.
But if he's able to find the cat's owner and say, "Your cat ruined my boat. Okay, you owe me a new boat."
Well, then maybe not boat, but at least some new carpet, floorboards.
You're going to get the DNA from the cat litter. And
COC, hello.
Hey, what if you have to register the cat through the county, or what if you did register it, license it?
Yeah.
I don't have
then
a cat.
Would it be considered property because it's licensed?
Well, you may be considered property because you license it, but cats aren't required to stay within your property. They're not required to stay in your backyard or your house. You may have a house-only cat, it may declawed or whatever. You may want it for its own safety to stay in your house. But cats that, I don't know what the correct term would be, but they don't stay in a yard. They roam around.
Okay.
And they always have been able to, so.
Cat lives matter too,
Oh yeah,
I don't know that they do
until they use your boat as a litter box, and then they don't matter. They don't matter.
All right. Good morning.
The KZOZ Morning Mind Fun.
Lamb of God, and he's good at that, isn't he, JW? JW is hanging out with us. We're going to give away these tickets right now to go see the show a week from today. If you can get the question right today in the Mind Funk, 543-3693 are the numbers to get through. 543-3693. 26% of men say they have this in common. They have done this. 26% of men said they have done this in a recent survey. They surveyed about 3,000 guys, just guys. And 26% of them say they have this in common. So something they've done.
Definitely close to 750. Yeah, 750, yeah.
543-36. 543-3693. You come up with whatever it was that 26% of men say they have in common, and you win the tickets to see Slayer, Lamb of God, and JW's hanging out. 26% of men say they have this in common. I think we should use JW as the lifeline, meaning people can call in.
Does he know the answer?
He does not know the answer.
Okay.
He does not know the answer.
He'd be a horrible lifeline, then.
Yeah. He does not know the answer, but we'll let people
because he doesn't know the answer.
defer
He would
to
be
him.
he would be a good lifeline.
Right.
Okay.
What's your name?
Amanda.
All right, so we have JW here. So you have an option. You can either answer the question on what you think you have, or you can let JW answer it.
I'll answer it.
You'll answer it. No faith in you.
She must be a cat owner.
She must be a cat owner. I agree. No. What do you think it is?
Circumcision.
26% of men have been circumcised. That would mean that over 70% of men haven't. No, I don't think that's right. I mean, are you circumcised, JW?
Oh gosh,
I am. Jeff is.
You must have meant on.
You forget that I'm working,
right?
so I'm backing away from these types of conversations.
It's just a question. I mean, I think most people are. I'm just kind of trying to figure out the room. You don't have to answer.
I would probably be in this.
I don't know I don't know what your experience is around it, darling, but the majority are. The majority are.
That's a double bam right there. Not circumcised. JW doesn't want to tell us if he is or not. Jeff and I both are. We've talked about it before.
I don't mind talking about it.
I mean, it's something that my parents made the decision. I didn't have any choice.
I mean, most people are.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, most people are.
But you don't have to answer if you're
so glad.
uncomfortable. I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable, but yes, I am, if that makes you feel better.
I have a friend who is not, and he shared with me some situations, and it's not fun.
Yeah, can you get it done later in life?
If you
can,
like,
but then you remember it, and it hurts a lot.
What, do you have to be awake for it? Because you have to...
Yeah,
You have to...
No, you just have to be awake for it.
Oh, okay.
I watched my sons, and it seems painful.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
My son was actually really good about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's already been done?
Oh, yeah.
He's only 9 months, right?
You do it
They
right
do
away.
it within like a day or two.
Yeah, you do it right away.
So they don't...
Did they wait longer when we were kids?
No.
Oh, okay.
Certain cultures, though, will
right.
wait a little bit longer.
26% of men have this in common. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Dan, and it's tattoos.
It's not tattoos. Dan, I'm sorry you were wrong.
That's a good guess.
You answered it with a lot of confidence.
Hi, good morning. What's your name?
My name is Alex.
Alex, do you want to use JW as a lifeline? He could know the answer.
Okay, all right, I'll hang tight.
All right. I'm going to give you a clue, JW.
Okay, go ahead.
All right? Because I feel like we should.
Okay.
One reason that this is done, and 26% of men have this in common, according to a new survey, 3,000 men were questioned. One reason this is done is because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
That's
26% of men say they have this in common.
Number one reason why 26% of men have this in common or do this.
You get this right, this boy wins tickets to the show.
Boy,
man, so you put me on the spot here.
Who are you calling a boy? It
This boy right here. Yeah.
Sounds like a man to me.
Sorry, but when I hang out with Texas, I call everybody boy. Hey, get over here, boy.
Say it again. Tell me.
All right, 26% of men have this in common, all right? One of the reasons why, the number one reason why they say is because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Oh, man. Watch a chick flick with their wife?
Not even close.
Significant other?
Good answer.
So JW was used as a lifetime once, and he was wrong. He said watch a chick flick.
Not a lifetime.
26, thank you, sorry.
The lifetime's where he watches his chick flicks.
Talking in cursive again. 26% of men say they have this in common. The number one reason why they say they have it in common is because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, all right? Slayer, Lamb of God, and Behemoth. Just getting tired of doing that. That's why it's fun. Hi, what's your name?
Hello, Steve.
Hey, Steve. What do you think? Or you can use JW as a lifeline.
You don't want to do
No, I'm going to guess. I think, is it cover up a tattoo? Got rid of a tattoo?
No, that's what the last guy said. Too many tattoos or something. No, it has nothing to do with tattoos at all.
He said they have tattoos, but that's
All right, have a great day.
That's not the case.
You too, Steve. 543-3693. That opens up another line. Hi, what's your name?
It's Paul.
Hey, Paul, do you want to use JW or do you want to take it?
I'll try to answer it.
If you use JW, I'll give you another clue.
Why are you pushing this lifeline so much?
It's just an option. It makes it more interesting.
I may know it.
But if you use JW, you get another clue.
I'll try it.
Okay, okay, what do you got?
Is it say that they're under 6 feet tall?
People say that they're under 6 feet tall because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, sir.
No, that would be incorrect.
That's a horrible guess, too.
All right.
Yeah, you should have went with JW. Because then you would have got... we all make mistakes, right? You would probably let him off with a warning if he made a mistake.
Well, it depends on,
That was
a mistake?
That was a stupid mistake, though. I don't know if I'd let him off with a warning. I might look for other reasons to tack on more.
That's the reason why I not do what I do.
See, I can't do your job. I can't do your job because I don't like stupid. 543-3693.
I'm a vehicle profiler. I see somebody's vehicle and I'm like, dude, there's something. That person's doing something illegal, and I would pull them over.
Yeah.
Like, anybody that
Too many
drives
bumper stickers?
anything older than 1995, I'd be pulling them over.
26% of men say they have this in common. The number one reason is because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Hi, what's your name?
Jacob.
Hey, buddy. What do you think it is? Or do you want to use JW? If you use JW, I'll give you another clue. JW.
Hence giving JW another clue, too.
All right. Okay, so 26% of men say they've done this. The number one reason, JW, they say they've done this is because they didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. The number two reason is because they were too tired.
They didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings or they were too tired.
Yeah. I'm going to let you steal it back because he doesn't look very confident. Or
whoever answers it first, how about that?
JW's just looking at me.
I may know this.
Oh, now you feel confident, JW?
No, I may know this.
26% of men say they have this in common. Number one reason.
Answer, because I think he has it too. I can tell by the way he's talking.
The number one
so
reason.
you don't want to be responsible for an incorrect answer if he's got the right answer.
Correct.
Okay.
The number one reason they gave that they did this is because they didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. The number two reason is because they were too tired. Can I just finish?
Does you want me to answer? Is it for me?
JW, go.
Maybe turn down
sex?
Sex, yes.
You turn down sex.
Or, say...
They were too tired to have sex? How many guys too tired to have sex?
But
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
The opposite way.
The opposite way? What does that mean? What does that mean?
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying. You're trying to win this guy
working.
tickets to a concert.
But we need you to be clear in your...
So... They don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. And what was the second clue?
And they were too tired.
They were too tired, so...
This is why 26% of men said they've all done this because they were too tired and they didn't want to hurt
They had
the
sex
person's feelings.
whenever they didn't want to.
Oh, they took one for the... They pulled themselves by the bootstraps.
Yeah.
And they got in there and got
Did I
the
get it
job
right?
done
No.
despite the fact that they didn't want to.
No, I'm sorry. He didn't get it right. You want to try?
Tell them to try.
Call us back. 543-3693 are the numbers to get through. JW had to bounce. He had a call. So we'll do this without a lifeline this time. Not that he was that much help, but he did get us actually pretty close.
He almost got us.
Actually answer.
He almost got us there.
Oh, God. All right, Chad, you're up next. 26% of men say they have this in common. They've all done this. Number one reason is they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Number two is because they're too tired. What do you think it is?
They tell them that they love them.
Oh, when they don't love them?
No, that's not it.
That's a good guess, though.
All right, thanks. Alan is up.
Yes.
Alan, go ahead.
Yes, they have faked an orgasm.
That's what it is.
Good job, Alan.
Congratulations.
How about you, Alan? Are you in the 26%?
No.
Not once, huh?
No, not once.
Never just been like, dude, this is taking way too long. I really got to get up early in the morning.
That is
nothing like that, huh? Okay.
Pretty straightforward.
I've quit. I remember very young.
Tap out?
Yeah, I tapped out when the wife and I were dating, and it was hot and heavy, and it was like an all-day deal there. We were together, and I remember later in the afternoon, I was like, I just can't do this anymore.
Adios.
She's like, yeah, I'm over it too. I'm like, good. You want to go get some McDonald's?
So that's not really faking it.
Not really faking it. It's just it's a tap out. It's a tap out.
You mutually agreed to be like, oh well, that's all right.
Right.
It's not gonna. It's not.
I like that. It's hard to think that you could actually fake it, and you've done this, huh?
I have.
No, I have not.
I have.
Jeff has.
I have. I faked it.
Yeah.
A couple of occasions.
Was she ugly or was she?
No. It has nothing to do with it.
You were just over it?
It was just,
What's the issue, dear?
Nothing left in the tank. A lot going on.
So you could have tapped out, but instead you chose to fake it.
Over the course of that, because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like that rings true. That totally rings true.
Well, that's the number one reason is they didn't want to hurt any feelings and they were a little tired. So, hey, you're going to go see Slayer, Lamb of God, and Behemoth, okay?
Great. Thank you so much.
You bet, bud.
3.3 KZOZ. It's time to play Know the Show with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
9:42. Got an opportunity for you to win this charbroiled chicken sandwich with no antibiotics. It's available right now in Barbecue Chicken Club and the new Hawaiian chicken sandwich. It's at Carl's Jr. It's the new Carl's Jr. charbroiled chicken sandwich, if you know the show.
All right. We need to know why Jeremy got sent home after being forced to come into work. Okay. He was forced to come into work. Told him he didn't want to come into work. We got to know why he was then sent home after being forced to come into work.
543-3693.
If you could tell us what he did. Which I got to get to the bottom of this. That's why I made it know the show. Because I'm not buying every.
I think I told you most of it.
Every element.
What's up, Todd?
How we doing?
We're doing well. Know the show.
All right. Yeah. You got sent home because as soon as you got there, you went right to the bathroom and puked.
That's right. I called in sick. They said, sorry, man, you got to get somebody to cover your shift because that's what they always do. And I'm like...
He didn't believe you and he got mad.
Right. And so I called 3 people. I'm like, dude, I'm not feeling good. Can you go in? Like, no, I'm out of town. I'm like, whatever. So I went in.
You should have got paid. Got paid for half the day.
You should have,
I went in and I smelt that food and it was. Is
that what it was?
Over.
It wasn't sticking your finger down your throat to prove a point?
No. I walked in. I just smelled food and it didn't set with me.
My grandmother once, she accused me of throwing up on purpose because she had asked me to take the dog outside and it was raining outside and I said, I'm sick. I don't feel good. And she said, you're not sick. You just don't want to take the dog outside. And I said, no, really, trust me on this one. I'm sick. And I went into the bathroom and I threw up and I walked out of the bathroom when I was done throwing up. And she said, I know you just stuck your finger down your throat and made yourself throw up.
I've never done that. I've thought about it. I think I tried once and I just couldn't get it done. The choking part, the gagging part was too much.
That's another thing you couldn't get done, huh?
Yeah, another thing. Right
that and satisfying your girlfriend, your wife, which is now...
I satisfied her earlier in the day a couple times.
Yeah, sure you did. Just
tapped out, man. Sometimes you can only run so far. There's only so much left.
Did Big Fat Jason think that you were that you made yourself throw up? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what he thought, but he just sent me home.
You didn't really care what he thought at that point?
It was about a couple months later when he fired me.
It's disgusting because, people in food service should be given the total benefit of the doubt
when they say they're sick.
When they are sick. I get mad here when people come in and they're sick because they get everybody else sick. We don't even work in food service, and we could create as much distance as we need to between each other to where we're not getting each other sick. But in food service, if you're making your people come in when they're sick, shame on you. Because you're just going to spread disease throughout the whole community in which you live in.
That's right. That just means the manager that day has to step up his game a little bit. Instead of sitting in a booth, eating, looking at payroll or whatever the hell they schedules.
We got to do the schedule.
Got to look at paperwork.
Got to do the schedule.
You got to step up your game, bust some tables.
Schedule. That's funny. Middle managers like the schedule. They act like the schedule's the hardest thing in the world.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got to work on this schedule, man. This is tough stuff. Oh really? What is this? Is this really what they pay you the big bucks for? Well, you got yourself set up with the chicken sandwich, charbroiled chicken sandwich. No antibiotics from Carl's Jr. It's out there right now. Tomorrow, another shot. You got 3 more shots to get in with Firestone. We do the grand prize drawing for the $200 gift card and the VIP tour on Friday. And you can use that at any of their locations from Paso down to Buellton to Venice Beach, where they have a new tasting room. So if you're down that way.
That'd be California, not Italy, just in case you...
Venice, yeah, Beach, California.
Yes, the beach. The beach part should tell you that that's Southern California.
More Slayers tickets tomorrow as well.
If you missed any of the show today, you had to step out for a minute. Make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and leave a comment, because that's how you do things, I guess, on iTunes and the podcast app on your phone. Also, we're on Player FM and Podbean, and also always KZOZ.com to catch up with the show. And the cool thing about KZOZ.com is you can follow along with the links to the topics that we talked about that day.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.